All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Oshi no Ko, Season 3, Episode 6. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well done standing up for yourself, Kana.
Kana got
Good
to
job.
mouth off Aqua.
Yes.
And
it was glorious.
And it was glorious and
She even had an
off-screen
audience.
for the most part. Yes,
Yep.
a wonderful audience. But yeah, she stayed overnight.
And
Stayed up all night. Which looks extra bad for the camera.
yeah.
So that's going to be a scandal. That's going to be a thing that gets slapped on to be Kamachi.
And we already had the whole thing of like, oh, what?
What if your VTuber sister
Just joined to be Kamachi.
joined us? Maybe
Yeah.
this whole thing with being buddy-buddy with you was also a way to find a handy replacement for
Sure.
Kana. The one that had, you know,
Yeah. Has
Kind
maybe
of-
fallen off recently.
kind of fallen off a little bit. But then
Yeah.
maybe also this is just Ruby's way of systematically building her own crew.
Right,
That are
because then
just
it's-
people that
All
are
support her.
all supporting her and only
yeah, that's
her.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think of Ruby as like the
schemer.
I'm actually not the villain, but like I'm these girls' villain. Like
exactly.
like-
not the story's villain.
no.
But she might be their villain. Because, like, even the, Memcho, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. But,
Right.
I could see Memcho.
Yeah, I can see
getting
Memcho
phased out
being
too.
next too. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's doing a lot of helpful things for the channel, so maybe
Right.
it'll be a thing of where it's like, like this
She's
whole
outlived her
star
usefulness.
stuff and all that. It's tiring. It's a
Yeah.
lot. Like maybe you should be like focused more on just running the YouTube channel and stuff, and like
Yeah,
maybe also your own YouTube channel because it feels like it's kind of suffered a bit since then. It's like
Yeah. And meanwhile, Akane's still trying to do that whole, yes, right. Aqua's dad that definitely isn't a murderer or anything.
She started to put things up on the wall. That's a bad sign. That's a bad sign.
And she's doing it by herself.
Right.
Which is the worst part.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. If anything, this show is reminding us that these characters are very dangerous or in danger when they are
both.
doing things alone.
Yes.
Or when they go off into environments that are unfamiliar to them
Right.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Yes. Laughter.
Oh, no!
Oh, shit.
お兄ちゃんとコンビニでカレーパン買いました。いや、それは男子ってくくりじゃないでしょうが。
どう？デートとかしたくない？
ないですないです。相手もいないですもん。
Oh, my God.
なんで男子がどうとかデートがどうとかって話ばっかなんだろうね。
She's even playing into her dumb
Yeah.
character right now.
カナさん、メムチョさんはこちらで、ルビーさんはあちらで少しお待ちください。
これコンシーラー。
Oh.
彼氏なんか髪フェチみたいなのあって仕事の前にやたら後つけようとしてきて。
Dang.
Oh.
That's not helpful.
No.
Hey, what you get up to in the bedroom is your own deal, as long as you're
Yeah.
both cool with it.
この業界に飛び込んでまず思ったことは意外と彼氏いる子
Yeah.
いるんだな。
Pretty much, yep.
匂わせないようにするかがプロ意識だと考える人が多い。
Right.
They define it that way. Wild.
YouTuber は交際相手の話をしないし、付き合ってる人とあまり表では関係性を見せないように。
Yeah, and part of that also is just safety.
声優は結婚を公表していないし、
True,
必
true.
要に彼氏いない感を出すための画像を事前に集まって撮ったり、
Wow.
That's brilliant. In a sad kind of way.
どうリスクを取りながら自分の生活を守るか、それを考えるのが芸能人の仕事。
Oh my gosh.
SNS が普及し、タレントのスキャンダル記事が爆発的に増えた一方、一つ一つのニュースがとても弱い。
Sure.
Right, it's just overloaded it.
何せアイドルの熱愛報道というのは大抵身内のリークなのだから。
There it is.
Oh.
I was gonna say, there's a division amongst the.
Amongst the unit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
ありゃ、この子辞めちゃうんだ。最近売れてきて調子いいグループだったのに。
Wait, what
ない
happened?
の？どうやったって向いてない子はいるのよ。
Sure.
Yeah, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, hey! These two
Hey!
talking about that.
どうしたん話聞こうか久々の飲みにでも行くってかなちゃん
Hey, never mind.
しばらくそっとしておいてほしい時期なのよ
The thing is, I think both of these girls would be happier in a way if they left showbiz.
Well, I think in some ways not that they would leave showbiz. I think they would leave B Komachi.
Sure.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Ah!
あんたよ必死な顔してマシュマロや質問箱にキモいメッセージでも飛んできた
Oh
の
my
Wow.
god.
Wow. That happens all the time. Yeah.
このままじゃかなちゃん B コマチやめるかも
Wait. Yeah. He's like, oh shit, really?
Yeah.
あの子口ではいろいろ言うけど本心はなかなか
Now she's doing the opposite.
だけど最近のかなちゃんはいつも思い詰め
Yep.
た顔してて結構イエローシグナルだと思う
Oh, yellow flag. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
wait, this is headed in a bad direction, but
Right,
it's not
things aren't
necessarily
doing
bad.
great,
It
but-
might be just a cry for help, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
かなちゃんをどうにかできるのはさ
有馬のことで俺に頼るな前も話しただろ半端な真似はしない
You kind of already did.
言ってることはわかるよ思わせぶりな態度とって
Yeah. It's a tough thing to balance.
But she's hurting right now.
All right, we're not in the balancing stage. We're in the ship is tipping over kind of stage, you know? Like, we need any sort of movement the other way.
アクタンのためにアイドルをやってる
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, shit.
Yep, remember.
That's a good point.
少しでいいから
Thank
付
you.
き合ってあげてよ
I love Memcho. Memcho's such
Memcho's
a
wonderful. And that's why I'm worried about her.
No, Memcho's a staple. She's like a mascot character, you know? And the timing of this right before everything's going to come out is going to be really,
Yeah.
really timely. Otherwise, it's going to be just a bit too late.
すみません有馬かなさんですよね
Oh,
Shit.
boy. Well, fuck.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
ちょっとまずいことになったわね
Yeah, they had pictures since then. Yeah.
私週刊芸能実話の記者なのですが島正則監督とのご関係についてお伺いできればと先日お二人は連れ添ってマンションに入って行かれましたよね監督のスタッフはその前に帰っていたようですこの女性あなたですよね
なんて
非
いう
常に親密な様子に見えるのですがちょっと有馬さん
Oh.
認めるということでしょうか
Oh, she's just panicking.
Yep. This is gonna be both the best time for Aqua to contact her and the worst time.
気に入られたら演技の仕事もらえるかもよ
Yeah.
大丈夫だよ
Yeah. I love that she knows immediately.
Oh, yeah.
記事にされるの
Probably.
私は何もピーコ町のみんな事務所の人たちに迷惑
She could
Come on, it's gonna
preemptively
be
leave.
okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Just call someone to pick you up. Just
Yep.
call someone to pick you up.
And then her phone rings and it's Aqua.
Come on. It's gonna be okay. Pick up your stuff. Pick up your
Yeah.
stuff.
Girl.
You pick up your
Oh
stuff.
my god, it is ringing right now! No!
Shit!
Might literally be like
どこに行った
5 minutes too late.
It's probably Miyako. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
ダメだ
Oh,
かなちゃん
it's Memcho. Yeah.
スタジオの方にも来てなかった
Okay. So we checked there. Yeah.
探しに行ってくる
Yeah.
で
Yeah.
何
Hold
か当て
on.
があるの
Yeah, hold on.
や
探したって見つからないわよ
Let's think about this here. Who do we know that maybe she would go to?
本人から詳しい話を聞いているのは対策の立てようもないという
Damn it. Yeah.
あなたは例外かもしれないけど18歳やそこらの子供ってね
Yeah. To freak out,
Yep.
do
Yep.
something really stupid.
出版社もファンも私たちも
A big part of our job is
子供たちを食い物にして
Oh.
子供たちの心と人生を
Ah,
壊
the
し
glass
ない
heart.
Yeah.
Jeez.
世界は回って
And then shattering, losing its luster. Jesus.
俺も出てくる
Good. Okay.
Alright.
最低でも目をつ
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
We know what her route would be. Okay, cool. She's in a place with a lot of people. This is
Yeah.
good. It's good.
アイドルが男を好きになるとかプロ意識なさすぎるだろ
Oh.
Yeah, just imagining people saying shit.
どうしても汚いって
Oh.
信じてたのに。
売春詐欺師風俗嬢。
早くやめろ視界に入れたくない
Ugh.
所詮アイドルのこと業界にしがみつく手段としか見てなかったんでしょ
Whoa.
The worst voices are own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was gonna say it's because she knows the truth, you know, she knows. Oh.
何の打算もなく無駄な会話できる人間って
Oh, this baseball field or the park where they had their just
その点
That'd be great, but
No, but it's a shot. It's something.
yeah.
でもまあそういう相手に選んでくれたってのは悪い気はしない
Especially if this was kind of in preparation for her to join.
Right.
The idea that she might go there. That's something. Oh my god, please. Yes!
Okay.
Yes!
All right,
Okay!
all right.
Okay! Good!
口が悪ければ性格も悪い。やりたい仕事が来ないことにずっと不満たらたらで。
Maybe you should be a YouTuber and talk about
Sure.
the idol industry
Yeah.
and all its shit, you know? Like,
青春派なんて私から最も遠い言葉。
So maybe lean into the kind of person you actually are.
誰か教えて。ありのままの有馬かななんて誰も求めてない。
that's so sad because she thought that Aqua wanted the real her too.
Yeah.
向いてないんだ。
Damn. And right when she says it.
今なんて言った私。自分がしんどい時だけ男にすがろうとしてる。かわいそうなヒロインぶって自分を慰めてる。
Whoa.
こびて誰かに
The
許して
music.
ああ枕だのバイタだの散々言われるんだろうな。
Yeah! Yeah! That's right!
Okay!
Right!
Okay!
青春派なんて誰かに任せておけばいい。
That was never my thing anyways.
何が起きても
And then Aqua shows up.
私は私のまま。
And he doesn't. He's like, you know what?
ほら
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
かなもこの程度で折れたりしない
I love it.
Nice.
Cool. Okay, I like it.
必要ないんだよ
Shit.
And that's true. She doesn't.
But, I mean, she does kind of want to be
Oh, yeah.
around,
Yeah.
you know? Oh, I'm so proud of her, though.
Yeah, way to go.
Whether or not that actually works out, you know, we're still kind
Yeah,
of in the...
saying that before the shitstorm happens
Yeah,
is
yeah.
one thing.
神木ひかる。25歳でプロダクション設立。ララライを辞めた16歳から25歳まで何をして
Oh, wow, that's a long time.
あそこだ。
Oh.
女優よりこういう仕事の方が向いてたのか。
Fun.
Oh, this music makes me nervous though.
This is just the lead into the ending, Jacob.
No, I know. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well,
Her stuff?
Oh, yeah, he might have. Fuck. Okay.
All right.
Way to go, Kana.
Wow,
Way to,
Kana.
again, way to go. I feel like
the fact that she came to this conclusion by
Yep.
herself, I'm so
Uh-huh.
proud of her. Oh my gosh.
I feel like a large portion of this show, maybe even like a third of it, is just way to go, Kana. You know, like
Kana might be the most like transformed character from where she starts in
Sure.
the beginning of the story.
uh-huh.
But goddamn, hasn't it been fun to like watch her journey and
Oh
struggle
yeah.
and stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
Because she's kind of the most like, oh, I have been in this showbiz since I was a child,
Right,
and
right.
I do everything perfectly, and then we get to see her just get beat down, just to see her only come back up because she basically interacted with the main character, you know?
Yeah.
And then to be like, wait, I don't I don't need him.
Yeah. What the fuck am I doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
am I?
Right.
It's fun to see characters have to remind themselves who they are. Because oftentimes in media, in fiction, characters, especially the main character, usually needs, in the way it's written, a side character to come along and remind them who they are.
Yeah.
With a side character, though, it's actually like way easier to have them remind themselves of who they are, because in a lot of ways we're only getting them usually through like other people like coming in and kind of
Sure.
giving them value by bringing them into the story here. But her whole thing of being this kind of proud, kind of arrogant, kind of condescending, of bad mouthing, kind of person here. She's exactly the kind of person to build herself back up in this way. And so, awesome.
And I like the idea that...
see how well it goes later, But,
right, we'll see how well it goes later. But I like this as a way to kind of play both sides, where, like, Aqua having distance from Kana, in general, I'm like, great. But with things like, oh, hey, you end up potentially hurting her directly, maybe you need to at least smooth that over before you go back to no contact, right?
Right.
And so the, like... oh, hey, you want to look out for her while at the same time, probably best to keep your distance and stuff. I like how they did it, where it's he knows where she might end up being, he goes there, he sees her, she doesn't know that he sees her, and then she ends up figuring it out. He sees that and he's like, all right, she's fine. Sends the location to Memcho.
He was about to go over to her.
Right.
To basically say, okay, I'll step in, even though it might be a little bit damaging in the long run, because I'm kind of reinforcing this idea that I'm some kind of, I'm some kind of like lover that understands the distance and we're not able to do this. This couldn't be, and that builds up her idea of him in her mind because he knew that she would be here.
Right.
And it's like, man, yeah.
And the thing
I like this.
Is that with the way it's going, the fact that he gave the info to Memcho, you know that at some point Memcho is going to let Kana know, intentionally or otherwise, that Aqua was the one who gave her that info. Now, the thing is
she doesn't know that he went there. She might have just had the idea that, well, this is a good place to check.
That is a good point.
And Memcho can't know that necessarily either.
Yeah.
So,
no, that is a great
I'm
point.
gonna bring it up there that actually, like, this is again, Aqua's very smart. Like, he handled this in a way that can't really ever be proven that he was there seeing her go through this moment.
But if that does happen, it both continues to play into the, hey, these characters need to have some healthy distance. And also the, because Kana wasn't in a good place right now, even if you wanted the romance between the two characters to happen, you wouldn't want it to happen like this, because then that'd be a dependency rather than, the two characters being fully independent and then being able to get together.
Yeah,
right?
in a weird way, that was always the problem with this kind of relationship there, is that he wasn't really, like, he wasn't really ever needing things from her.
It was
even in some of the earlier parts where he did kind of need some people to help ground him. What she provided was more just an opportunity to talk about things in a more mature way.
Right.
And that kind of frankness was nice. But it wasn't then an intimacy thing. It was more of like in some ways, it was what she needed from the director and to just process what...
to have a good friend that would listen.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the sucky thing, is that, they could still be great friends, but no, they could not do the romance thing.
Yeah, there are reasons beyond just the premise of the show. There are reasons why that would not work or be good, right?
Yeah, I was meaning ignore the premise of the show, just their compatibility side of things.
It's no. Yeah, and because that was a topic that was sort of pseudo broached or whatever, that basically makes it so they aren't able to just be friends anymore, right? And so, even if they would be great solid friends, they can't, at the very least right now, possibly ever, but we'll see.
Yeah,
but
maybe not ever.
So this, I really like how this was handled. I love a good like Kana being like, you know what? Nah, I may be small, but you know I'm a fighter. Let's go. You
right.
know?
It's basically I'll channel my tsundere energy
Exactly.
all the way
Right.
into tomorrow.
Yep.
And then she's going to get hit by the full, just complete total blast of the tabloid industry doing its thing.
Yep.
And then Strawberry Productions doing what an agency does best and basically protect itself.
Right. What happens when it's, it comes from within, not just outside.
Yeah, realistically, Kana doesn't last and beat Kamachi this season still.
Yeah,
I think it doesn't matter what your perspective on it is, Kana, unless you get picked up by Memcho tonight, which you will, then most likely, there's no like, in the next episode, immediately she left and, jumped off a bridge or something, Like she's going to get picked up. Miyako's going to come up with some kind of a strategy here.
Yep.
The question is, does Ruby already have a strategy in mind and end up swaying Miyako to deciding that?
Right.
Now, Ruby is almost conveniently like, I was elsewhere doing my shoot and what have you. So we'll see if she's even involved in some of the decision-making stuff there in the slightest. But if it's no, we're going to go and try to, say, we'll just go right into it there, and I'll just tell the truth, and I can even throw him a little bit under the bus if you want to, and I can just be the bad idol,
Yeah.
And that will give some virality to things, and then we can rely on the other members to be like, Kana's unhinged. Like she's a loose cannon. She's fun. She's wild. She's a great friend, and absolutely I stand by her. She's going through this shit show.
You could even use this as a potential opportunity to rebrand a bit, where it's like okay, all right, fine. You don't like the fact that this is a secret that was kept from you? Cool. I'll be a bit more honest and upfront, And then she ends up just being more like her regular self.
Well, in a weird way, I think she even doesn't even to go that far into it, in that this was a one-time thing. There's no other evidence. So it's this happened. This happened at this time. This happened right then and there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to bring it up because I don't want to ruin this guy who's a fucking playboy. Also, I could potentially drag the girl who tried to set me up in this regard. But
Here's
you know
the
what?
text
I'm going
messages.
to keep the names vague here because you already know about the one guy.
Right.
And that's his own thing, Yeah. Reminder, I'm a 17-year-old, right? That's just something to keep in mind of this whole thing here.
Well,
then second here, okay. So you think that none of this stuff ever happens to idols? So me wanting to have some kind of a role or something like that is a bad thing? Okay, cool. You can view it however you like. But you'd be shocked. I won't tell names, but you'd be shocked how many idols are actually completely lying to you.
A lot of them. Yeah.
And she doesn't even have to say names or what have you.
Sure.
That could be enough to where they're like, okay, you need to kind of shut up, but also what? What is she gonna do?
Right, they're already gonna say that she's lying anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that goes down though, then they might be like, okay, we're gonna quietly move you into the background of things for a bit, and then we'll do a rebrand.
Oh, sure. She gets a paid or unpaid vacation for a bit or something, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I see it as being a thing of, if there's nobody in the idol industry that does this specifically, well, then that means that there's a very small, narrow way of doing things where you become the one person that does do this and it works.
Sure.
Because it's unique, because it's something different.
Yep.
So maybe I'm wrong in that, trying to slam idols in general is probably not the right call in that regard. Because then it's basically saying, hey, all you fans, fuck you.
You guys are all dumb,
or whatever.
Are all
dumb and all that. But it is one of those fun things where her kind of acknowledging that she doesn't care about the fans is kind of one of those examples of the things that Kana had that was not problematic, but a showing of her rough side, that she doesn't really play to kind of being a people pleaser. And so a version of that as an idol could be really fun But she kind of also just needs to basically showcase her talent in some way, where people then who are the, really over the top, I don't want to use any negative adjectives here, but really just over the top idol fans basically are like, well, she's a little bit rough around the edges, but at least her content is good. Like,
sure,
that's a way she could survive in the industry without like
because I feel
torching
like
her rep.
I feel like her frankness is something that a lot of people could get behind.
Oh yeah,
but I also don't know the idol industry.
I don't either
as a whole. So I don't like all the videos and stuff that they've done. I don't know how much of that has already been her not showing that side of herself.
Oh, a lot of it.
Right.
I would say
in fact,
a lot
most
of
it.
I would say it's something where because they're focused now more on making Ruby look better, and the branding that Ruby is going for is ditzy dumb with a little bit of wit, that doesn't really click well with Kana's style.
Yes.
In some ways, it's unique, which makes Ruby become more popular. Or it's not that it's unique; it's that it's distinct from what the others are. Ruby didn't really have as much of an identity before,
right? Because
so
she
now she
didn't
does.
have performance experience.
Right. So now, if anything, it's just does the package of Be Kamachi
still
work well from having 3 very distinct personalities,
right?
Because sometimes an idol group, at least from what I've seen, has kind of like a not like a uniform kind of feeling, but somewhat of that, where it's like, hey, we all like fly the same colors, but our color choice combination is distinct. Meaning like, that group kind of runs this vibe.
Yeah.
And there's a spectrum amongst the vibe, but it's like the difference between red and blue. You won't ever find green.
Yeah.
But you will find all the shades in between the red and blue,
Since they did the whole like crystal heart cracking thing.
Sure.
If we were to, do what the industry is doing and treat these girls as objects for a second, if you're doing jewelry, you might have a single stone that is like the main stone, right? And that effectively right now is Ruby. All the other stones are there to support that stone and make it look good. The whole needs to look good, and because of that, you don't want to have like a diamond and an emerald and a ruby and a whatever, right? That'd be like...
It's busy.
That's busy. It's weird, right? And so it's you can look good. You can have your own little bit of personality, but...
Your own little drama,
Yeah, but it can't go too far outside of the box.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You need to basically play within these colors here.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying, too, is that you can have distinction, though. I think what you're saying is that there can only ever be one star, which I think is right, but it's kind of missing the point a little bit. There should be some kind of distinction between Memcho and Kana.
Yes.
The idea that because we have 3 members, you have this incredible potential to basically have those 2 support the star that is Ruby in different ways.
Yeah.
And so having Kana's thing be like the ferocious, dog, basically, who's got that, like, bark to her.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit of bite, even, too. But Memcho's is like, oh my gosh, like, you don't even know what's going on inside my head. Memcho is like the whole bag,
Maybe Ruby is the one that basically is the onboarder that gets people into Bikamachi in general or makes them aware of Bikamachi. And then and then Kana can be that one that's like the,
there's
the diehard favorite of, 20%, right, or something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I do sense some impending doom in this angle just because of this being something that ends with Kana primarily more resolving within herself what her response to this is, not necessarily what Bikamachi's response is to her. So if they're going to try to spin it, let's have an arc focused on this side of things here. I like that they talked about this from an industry side of things. I believe, again, Memcho giving quality exposition regarding how this shit works. Let's find that part here. Oh no, this was Ruby's
That was
thoughts.
Ruby, yeah.
These were her inner thoughts when she was in the makeup room,
Right.
thinking about, wow, this is all a big lie. Like, this is something where they really are, like, the majority dating people.
Right.
And the reason why this manga, and thus anime, exists in a way, probably, is that the actual creator of this, is kind of trying to boost a little bit their own kind of things they've learned over the years about the entertainment industry. And this is not something that's like, some big reveal or what have you. This isn't some big secret. It's more just this is most likely true. This is most likely true. And to me, this kind of brought up something that is more of a Western thing, but it's kind of the idea that the idol industry is actually kind of like the wrestling industry.
Oh,
it's actually understood by the fans that everyone performing in the WWE and all that
it's fake.
That are absolutely, they're actors.
Right.
They're really well-trained actors.
Yes.
The lore about who's the bad one and who's the good one and all their stories and stuff like that, that's a part of the fun fantasy, and that you're basically watching your own goddamn anime multiverse.
Right.
With characters interacting and coming from all different sides of things here.
Yeah, and so it's not that you don't know that, it's just it breaks immersion to be reminded of it.
Right.
Because like I'm curious if there are diehard idol fans that become a fan of Oshinoko and then they're like, wait, what?
I think that for the most part, probably not. I think that the average idol fan is kind of just a passive enjoying consumer. In the same way that kind of there's a silent majority of people that watch YouTube videos but don't ever comment.
Sure.
Comment silent majority in this YouTube video if you are one of those that actually watched to this point in the discussion. You're like, I would never comment on a YouTube video, but you know what? Right now, it'd be kind of funny to see how many people actually do. Yeah. But I think that for the most part, they're just really enjoying. These girls are talented. They sing well. They dance well. They're going hard. They're as a team. Maybe there's that little bit of like, they seem to really love it.
Sure.
And you can't not absorb a little bit of that.
It becomes infectious. And
it becomes infectious. And yes, in a lot of ways, I have seen clips where I was like, God damn, that's an amazing, talented, dancer there. But also I'm like, also these girls are sometimes really attractive. And I'm just like, my goodness.
Yeah.
But just because that's the case doesn't mean that the reasons why you were marketed or the marketing worked on you with regards to idols and things like that isn't because of a lot of these really toxic, unhealthy things going on in the background, propagating and perpetuating that.
Right.
And so there is kind of this responsibility, I feel like, as a consumer to be a little bit aware of what you're putting your money and your, I would say, your energy into.
Sure.
Obviously not from some like necessarily some grand societal reason, but just for your own, like, just well-being in general. Obviously, if we go bigger, I think it does eventually become a larger group thing. But for the idol industry, I do see it as something where it's like, why does it need to be this specific way? Is the way that it is this specifically because it monetizes so well the individual that is really into it, in the same way that
the whales are the super whales.
Right, in the same way that like the mobile game industry monetizes the super whales. I feel like, with my limited understanding of things, that's why the idol industry trends this direction, is because the majority of the money comes from the minority of the fans.
Right, and so then that's something where the practices tend towards the extreme because the extreme fan is where they get a lot of their dosh, right? And so now I liked the thing that Ruby brought up of like, because like as the stories, the scandals or whatever become more common because information age, internet, all that stuff, the consequence of them also becomes less, right?
Yes, that was also a really cool thing.
So like a scandal that I remember from just the voice acting industry was
I know
the
you can bring
voice
up.
actress for Haruhi from The Melancholy Life of Haruhi Suzumiya.
Yep.
That show became giga popular, right?
Giga
like
popular.
Insanely popular.
If you were not
right?
around watching anime in the 2000s, you don't know. But
right, like that. It was truly insane.
Viral dance. Opening,
right. The voice actress ended up sleeping with a lot of the people that were on tour with her, because it was the whole band thing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, her career got like full axed, right? Like she was the rising meteoric star, right? And then all of a sudden, oh shit, right? And a lot of it was kind of over.
Yeah.
That I don't think is something that would happen now.
No.
Right? Because of, things like this. And I almost wonder if the VTubing thing is almost an example of this, because there's an element of where there is an acknowledgement within the fan bases for most of the ones that I've seen.
Yes.
Where it's
I know where you're going with this. Yeah.
Hey, they have personal lives and all that stuff, and that is very different from what they present here.
Don't touch that.
Yeah.
In some ways,
don't touch
it's
that.
It's not don't harm the vision of what we have here. It's kind of that.
It's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both, but I would say it's also a really cool thing where it's like, nope, we don't mention their real name here because that's something that would also harm what they're trying to present here. Like,
it is an acceptance basically that what they are creating is a wonderful illusion.
Yes.
Right? They're doing a magic trick.
Yeah.
And we are all here to buy into the magic trick. So both for the sake of their own personal privacy and everything and respect to them as an individual and a performer who gives us this experience, don't bring that shit up. Also, we're all here to participate in this wonderful magical experience and illusion and all that stuff. Don't bring that shit up. Like if you want to,
don't kill the vibe. Basically.
Yeah, don't kill the vibe. Right? Like you can talk about that in spaces that aren't the space where we are actively enjoying.
Yeah,
it, right.
No one's trying to pretend that that's not who they are.
Right.
We all know that.
Yeah.
Like in some ways, that's actually where VTubing is really fun. Is that a lot of people will start as an actual, like, very public content creator.
Sure.
I know a few who are now very successful VTubers that were, like, in a completely different sphere of content creation. And it's like, yeah, I know exactly who they are. That they had a brand specifically that was that. And they've just been VTubing for, like, 7 or 8 years now at this point. And a lot of new fans, they just don't even know. They're too lazy to go back and even care because that's why do that?
And
why
sometimes
bother?
it was really fun to see them experiment with their brand, clearly searching for something that would end up being VTubing without realizing that VTubing was the thing that they were searching for.
True.
Like it definitely felt like Caleb and I, you and me, like trying to come up with like games for things, and it's like, oh, we just really wanted D&D, right?
Yeah.
And we just didn't know that, like, oh, hey, here we go.
It was right there all along.
Yeah, it was right there all along. So I'm more optimistic with this coming arc than I would normally on paper think I would be, because I would think, oh, this is going to be an absolute disaster. But
see, I think you've conflated the educational side of things with how well the characters will do through this whole
totally.
thing here.
And just because
some characters will be fine. I don't think Kana's going to be doing amazingly by the end of this season.
She will get through this, but just because the ship survives the storm doesn't mean it doesn't get dinged up, and it really would have been nice if it didn't have to deal with the storm in the first place. And the fact that they're able to get through the storm does not mean that it's okay for the storm to have happened, and that, oh, okay, well, it's fine because,
Well, you're a public figure. You deserve this level of scrutiny.
Right, you just gotta kind of roll with it, like, yes, on an individual level, that is what each person must do, right? But that does not mean that that is how things should be. Yeah. So, yeah.
The thing I also wanted to bring up that's kind of like a fun little thing here is they're bringing up the idea that YouTubers don't talk about their partners and then try to keep their relationships low-key in public, and they have footage of, here we have a girl who his lack of popularity with the boys drove her crazy. I kind of love this little clip because it's talking about it from a couple standpoints. One, it's the I'm a married man here. I don't talk too much about partner, what have you, details in that regard. That's entirely a safety thing. Like, it's entirely a safety thing.
Yeah.
I never tried to hide specifically
The fact that
I'm no longer single, and been
you have been
not
permanently
single for,
taken off the market.
Yeah, I've been single. I've not been single for a very long time.
Right.
But the idea that part of this is because if you're going to do well in this industry, it's better for the views and the numbers and what have you to look like, you never know. You never know. Like
theoretically,
and that's really like its own little thing over here. But the actual footage they have here is of a girl like attacking her pillow and going nuts because she's trying to get basically a boyfriend, and it's just not working.
Right.
Now, what I found to be kind of funny about this is that there's a whole type of content, called thirst traps and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's basically baiting the parasocial dynamic to be like, tell me how much you want and desire and would be interested in me. There is no actual chance of anything happening in that regard.
I imagine
this is completely
for this fictional character, it's the she knows she's making fantastic content right now.
Yes.
By being genuine and vulnerable about the fact that it fucking sucks to be single. You know, and I've been trying so hard to get a partner. You know? Because that's both endearing and entertaining, and people can connect with her as an individual. Oh, hey, and also there will definitely be that part of her fan base that's like, I would treat you well, I think you're incredible. How could you possibly be single?
So the question. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I will tell you, if you are someone who has a crush on a content creator and you want to theoretically, possibly, maybe eventually date them, barring the bad examples of that happening, where it's because you're a fan and you really don't want that, the best thing that you can do, legitimately, is to stop being a fan of that person. That will improve your odds.
In a weird way, I get what you're saying there, but you still have to actually interact with them somehow.
Oh, definitely.
Which the only way you could do that would be something very disingenuine then at that
I'm not
point.
saying your odds will be good. I'm saying that is an increase.
I'm going to pivot from that into a different thing. I was going to bring up that there's a question that can be brought up here, though, with the idea of this fictional character here.
Yeah.
Having her content be about the lack of popularity with the boys and what have you.
Sure.
That could be a still form of baiting parasocial stuff and somehow be genuine. Because the emotion and the feelings of it can be genuine. But the reason why you put the camera up and started recording
is because people will eat it up.
Is because people will eat it up. And this is something that it's something that I actively cannot consume content of this nature because it is something where I feel like once you've realized that the camera is there and that someone set up the camera and pressed on the camera and how much mental energy it takes to sit down and start speaking to a camera and recording it, you start to wonder, like, wait, why are they recording this? And there's a really depressing angle to this, and there's a really insidious angle to this. The depressing angle is actually that you, the audience, are the parasocial thing for the creator.
Yep, and they don't feel like they have anyone else they can talk to. And so even though you can't actually respond back and they can't actually have a genuine connection with you, you're the best they've got.
It makes them feel like that. Yep. That is genuinely what's most likely happening here with this fictional character here.
Absolutely.
And when I tell you, this is way more common than you think.
Oh, sure.
This is way more common than you think. And it's sad. And I think it is genuinely a thing that if you asked Twitch streamers, live streamers, YouTube streamers, specifically people that do live content where they're getting that consistent feedback and stuff, there is a dynamic of that in play, I would say almost on all of them. And it's just whether or not they're willing to talk about it in a shallow way or in a deep way.
Well, I mean, just do the numbers on the idea that if like, for like the really popular streamers or the things that you have to do in order to get big in streaming, where you're streaming like, 60 hours a week or something ridiculous, right?
Right.
That doesn't leave a lot of time for friends.
No.
And normally, a lot of your friends end up, if you have a regular job, end up being work friends because you just spend time with them anyways.
Totally.
Who are the work friends in a situation where you're streaming 60 hours a week, you know?
Yes. That's not, I'm not talking the logistics side of things here.
Okay.
I think that's less of a thing than also you'd think, because I don't think that many successful streamers are streaming like
that crazy hours. They did that for a time in order to get big, and then
right. I think that's a thing that all young streamers do.
Sure.
I think that's a thing that people with no lives do, and then you watch them as they hit their 20s and start,
and then they're like ooh,
start hitting close to 30, and then they're like, ooh, okay, and they start pulling back a little bit, and they have very protected, guarded, small cohort of friends. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, successful ones. So meaning that's their career. But the insidious side of things basically is that they are aware that they need the parasocial dynamic in that regard. And this is like not just targeted and something where they are aware of their own things and stuff like that, but it's actually manufactured. And because there's so much content basically of this type out there, like so much content of this type out there.
Yeah.
I would assume by then that the percentage of people that are like actively preying upon your like empathy, insecurities, or even just desire for human connection in that regard. And I don't say this as like someone who just has this real doomer look at humanity in general.
Right. What's the difference between, praying versus just like, hey, this is entertainment and I'm making good entertainment,
Right. Yeah. And again, I think the majority of this type of experience here is more the depressing side of things.
Sure.
But I think a not small percentage of it is also or like a not a tiny percentage, but is the other kind.
A significant percentage, not necessarily a majority or anything.
Oh God, not the majority.
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up, since you brought up those two different categories that things tend to fall into, using this person as an example, what happens when they actually do get a boyfriend? On the one hand, they could make a really awesome video talking about how, holy shit, I finally found somebody, and maybe they're able to pivot into gushing about their partner or whatever, and going into
there's all kinds of
cute relationship stuff or whatever.
There's all kinds of ways to do it. Yeah.
But they would absolutely have a strong incentive to be like, well, I've gotten really big talking about my relationship frustrations. Maybe I keep doing that. Right?
Oh, sure. I think that one also could lend itself to less genuine stuff and more skits. And that's where I'm talking about the manufactured side of things, where it's something where it could be more malicious and less on the depressing side of things. Now, obviously, there's a middle ground where it's them just trying to repeat the same content.
Sure.
But I think that angle of just repeating this because it worked.
That's a
good
point.
Most YouTubers who, or even just content creators who know their stuff, understand the value in diversity and doing different, and a broad kind of spectrum of things.
And when you're doing like qualitative work like that, when you know that like, that was genuine and real for me on a level like, more than it maybe usually is or something.
Right.
I was really feeling it that day. Like it was just my heart being out here, captured by the camera.
That's why that would
give a lot of motivation to maybe do the pivot and not stay in the old thing, because I won't actually be frustrated.
In a weird way, I feel like that's why we have the podcast industry in the way it is that it's a large percentage of people that are tired of short form or not even just interested. They won't go to short form ever, but they're getting a lot of value out of just having these long, real, much more raw kind of discussions and showcasings of these people, and then it's literally between a conversation between multiple people,
right, which avoids a lot of the parasocial issues. Not all of them, but most of them, because then it's not about some fake interaction with you. You are just a fly on the wall watching other people interact with each other.
Right, and it doesn't go fully into talk show territory because there's almost too much content for it to be just about puffing up one person and being like, look how amazing they are.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm talking specifically about podcasts, which again is a niche within the entertainment industry, but it's just it's a lot bigger than where it was, you know.
Oh, sure, 10
a
years ago
decade
or whatever.
ago. But
Yeah.
really cool educational episode. And then Kana, we're rooting for you. We're all rooting for you.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah, but Akane found
where he works.
Well, yes, and I believe that is what's going on here. But the part that's creepy about this is that this is a private eye business. At least I believe that's what it's basically implying here.
I figured it was just another media agency.
Oh,
or something.
Gotcha. MediaEyes.inc. Okay, gotcha. I guess it's because my brain conflated eye and private eye.
Right, and she talked about being a...
No, I think it's just she's saying she's pretty good at this, and she's like, I should become a private eye, yeah.
Well, and I think it's also something where it's that kind of like meta on the nose thing of like, media eyes and like, you know, the whole thing of like the star in the eye and all that stuff. And so, you know...
Oh, sure.
It's a joke, you know.
Joke. But yeah, there's a gap of time.
16 to 25.
16 to 25.
Yep. Not sure what he did.
Not sure what he did.
Yeah.
She says, but that's the place. So I guess Media Eyes is his agency.
Is his agency, yeah.
Cool. So she is keeping, in some ways, very chill here.
Yep.
It is kind of wild why she needs to go specifically to the place that his agency is at and take a photo.
Yeah, that definitely feels like
feel like it.
You grew up in the internet.
Like, what do you gain from this?
You just save the location on, like, the fact that she's even using physical notes is another thing where, like, and granted, this is coming from a place of, like, okay, Akane's going to get murdered and her whole apartment is going to get torched or something. But, like, the fact that she's using actual paper to draw out the board rather than, like, some digital thing on Google, you know? Like...
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It does feel a bit like...
It's, again, the reminder that she's also a kid, and then what she's doing here is, in some ways, its own form of... fantasy, where she's getting into the she's getting into the
search,
enjoyment
you know?
of the search itself,
right? Whereas
it's less that it's functional and it's more that it's like, yes, this is why I'm doing this,
right?
Because I need Aqua to have a good life and a good ending, so I'm going to help him all the way until things go horribly for me.
Just make a bookmark category on your favorite search engine and, like, you know,
oh my
research.
God, Jacob,
like,
you're making too much sense.
You know, like, like there's so much information that she could get that has nothing to do with actually coding.
It is really funny because in a lot of ways, I feel that so much in that I'm a DM regularly for D&D campaigns and stuff, and the amount of just Google Doc spreadsheets shit, just stuff that's like, and that's even like other specialized apps specifically to keep track of like world things and like notes on characters and the way they interact with. I might as well be a private eye for my goddamn players, you know? Like I'm spying on them practically as I sit right next to them, and I'm like, you were talking about this that one time. I made a note.
And
you know?
Is this me being paranoid? Maybe.
Yes,
I just see a whole bunch of single point of failure physical location stuff for both Akane's life and the information that she's acquired.
You know what would help her? NordVPN.
No, but it's not digital anyways.
Damn it, no! But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel, see if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.